On this video, we're doing the French press, or the plunger, if you call it that. Hey guys, my name is Theo Le Roux and I'm from Cupocafe Coffee Bar. On today's video, we are going to be looking at the French press and different recipes that you can use to make a beautiful flavored coffee out of this. So, very important is to use about a medium grind and to always make sure that your water is not boiling. So the water should be around about 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, depending on where you live. If you live down at the coast, you can go up to about 82 to 85. But do remember, in the highlands, so if you live 1,000 or up meters above sea level, do make sure that water boils at a lower temperature. So in Pretoria, in South Africa, coffee boils at 89 degrees Celsius. So our water is about 70 to 75. And yes, let's jump into this. So French press, probably owned by around about 70% of all households in the world. But only about 30 to 40% of the households actually use it. The reason why is they always say that they can't get a consistent taste out of the specific coffee. So how do they make the same coffee every single time? So today we're going to be working with a recipe. Now guys, when it comes to coffee, a recipe is extremely important. So the first thing I do is I take some hot water into it so I can actually heat the glass. You don't want to shock the coffee with a cold glass and hot water at the same time. You want it to be in the same space. So now it's nice and hot. Tear your scale and measure out 20 grams for 400 mils. So as I mentioned, on a medium grind, the reason for that is the filter of the French press or of the plunger is not too fine, also not too coarse. So you want to make sure that your grind is coarse enough so it doesn't go through your filter, because you don't want that pieces of coffee in your mouth. So that is the reason why we go with a medium grind. So then I scale out 20 grams of coffee and I work it with 400 mils of water. So tear your scale again and we pump a beautiful 400 mils of water. Now you'll see that I start pouring fairly high because I want the coffee to mix nicely with the water. There we go, 400 mils of water. And now I let it rest a bit. Now while it's resting, the coffee infuses with the water. So that creates that beautiful flavor. Now if you like a nice, light or not strong coffee, it is important to never let your coffee stand for longer than 2.5 to 3 minutes. The stronger coffee you prefer, the longer you should let it stand. So always try and use the same amount of coffee for the same amount of water on all coffees. But if you want it stronger, let it brew longer. So that's fairly important. So my timer is running. I'm almost about 1 minute now. Then what I do is I take my filter and I just push it to below the crema. So you'll see that there's like this crust in the middle and this beautiful crema hanging on top. Now I want that to run for at least 2.5 to 3 minutes, as I mentioned, because you want the coffee to fuse with the water as much as possible. Again, the stronger substance will always win, so you want that beautiful coffee flavor to come out. Now, the coffee we're using today is a Tanzania AA medium roast. So it's got a little bit of fruitiness on the tip of the tongue. It then covers over to a very soft, nutty cocoa flavor to the center of the tongue, and the finish is I would say a little bit of nuts, a little bit of tobacco, and still a little bit of cocoa. So it's a beautiful bodied flavor, well-balanced coffee inside the plunger. But of course, you can run your favorite type of coffee inside. As long as you use a recipe, you can make your coffee taste beautiful. We will be doing a video specifically for coffee recipes only to explain exactly how to ratio all of your different recipes. But you guys can just keep an eye on the channel, do subscribe and hit that little bell notification so that we can notify you when it goes up. So there we go, we're on about 2.5 minutes now. Then I prefer to do the 10-second press. Now what I mean with the 10-second press, I don't want to push down too quickly because then I shake the coffee up. And I don't want to shake it up too much. So I'm going to gently push down on the filter for about 10 seconds. Then when I get to the bottom, put some pressure on it. Now the French press was invented in 1929 by the French after the first linen filter came out, because that filter was fine enough for them to actually keep most of the coffee granules back. The French didn't like having the coffee between their teeth like the Turkish coffee, so they were like, no, I'm going to be full of nonsense, I want a filter. So the first filter they actually used in France was the napkin for the cheese. So that they would normally cover the cheese inside a napkin. It's like a cloth. They used to use that to make their first coffees. Then in 1956, there was 2 Italian guys who actually patented the French press that we know today. So the French press, as you guys can see it here, is actually Italian, but the French press concept originally was French. So there we go. That's a proper 3 minutes. And now we just pour. Now you can see that it's a beautiful brownish color. Now, if you let it stand for 8 to 10 minutes, it will actually go fairly dark. It will almost turn black. So the longer you let it stand, the more fusion you allow, and the more fusion you allow, the bigger the coffee flavor. If you like bitter, you can go slightly hotter water maybe, and let it stand for longer. But I like a nice smooth coffee, so therefore I'm happy with this one. Now for the taste. Don't burn your tongue though. Always make sure to not burn your tongue. You want to enjoy the coffee. Once you burn your tongue, you're not going to taste the coffee anymore. Beautiful apricot, some green apple to the tip of the tongue. That subtle cocoa in the middle. That's just beautiful. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this video means something for you. Please do subscribe if you want to see more of our content. If you enjoy the rest of our content, please subscribe. And hit that little bell notification so you can see when we upload. And if you'd be so kind to give us a thumbs up, YouTube likes that stuff. But I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite brewing method that you would use at home? Is it the percolator? Is it the French press? Is it the Chemex? What is your favorite? Please tell us in the comments down below, and we'll see if we can make a video for you guys on that soon. And yes, thank you for your time. Love you guys. See you on the next video.